Hey everybody, it's Ross and welcome back to the den. Here, as you can see, I'm painting Space Marines today. Figured I'd take a bit of a break from model railroading as I gotta order supplies for that. But at the same time, I still need to order paints for these guys. Last video I did was, I guess, part one. Is it up these Intercessor Squad guys. However, the gold paint I'm using is really getting, worn out. I mean, we are talking like, what is this? 92? So, at any rate, figured I'd do a time lapse, get these guys done up today. It shouldn't be too complicated. I think I'm missing some red paint. I'll grab that after. But yeah, it's also tax season, and I owe a lot more money back in taxes than I originally anticipated. When I was living out in Ontario, I was paying between $500 and $700 a year back to the government, even though I keep telling my job at the time to take off more money. But because of COVID, they want that money back, even though I didn't really want the emergency response benefit we got here in Canada. But without further ado, I'm going to start off these guys. Maybe I should start the bases first. Get them out of the way. And also, I picked up some gel super glue at the dollar store. That stuff there doesn't seem to make that fogging stain, so which is good. But we'll see, because it'll stain this plastic stuff up. Clear plastic stems pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna get started here. Starting with the base. I'm going to go with a texture paint, Armageddon Dust. Ooh, so it's kind of rock solid in there. I think we're still good. Top part 8. Let's go and scrap some of the bottom here. And just put it on like so. They call it a texture paint because they use some really, really fine ground down sand. So when it dries, it's already got the sand in there. I picked up a couple of these. One of them, sadly, was hardened from the store. Apparently had a shipment issue on Christmas, according to my buddy who used to work there temporarily or part-time or something or other. He told me they had a bad batch, and I'm like, great, I think I got one of the pots. It was a bad batch. But I didn't take it back at the time. I just figured, well, I can still use it. I'll just scrape out what I can, clump it on, put the white glue to it, and just say it's bulkier or whatever piece for terrain use, right? Now, the thing with these texture paints, I find it is, I'm going to use the scraper method here. Don't want to get the grain on my brushes. You go through quite a bit of paint, especially with these new larger bases now. You go through even more. But that's okay, it helps you get them used up. Because I got a bunch of technical paint from Martian Red or whatever there. It's pretty much gone. I use it up on my, what do you call them, Tex Priests from Mars or whatever. The Adaptus Mechanicus, that's the one I believe it's called. And use it on some of them. And some Necrons, and it works really well. Of course, this is a time lapse, and I'm still talking. I can just talk this little bit away. I'm not too worried about getting some of that up on the stem there. I can always just wipe it off, like so. That there looks pretty good. So that will dry a little quicker underneath that light. I did look though, and I think I might have to zoom the camera in a little bit. But for this first guy, I'll leave it where it is. because after all, this is the new setup I got going here. So when I go to time lapse one of these first guys here, leave it at there, and then I'll zoom it in some more, the default level. And when I go to edit, I will compare which zoom level I like best, the default or halfway in, just so you guys can get a better view of what I'm painting up. Of course, I don't know if the zoom's going to make things more blurrier. It's hard to say. It's only an old Windows phone, or an Android, or no, it's a Huey phone. Huey, so that's Android. Sorry, my bad. And there we go. So that's that all done. Scrape you off. This is like an old Games Workshop knife, by the way. For those interested, I don't need that one anymore. Or a new one that's similar to it. It's a sculpting knife for green stuff. Okay, so let's get the base coat going. I'm just going to be using the older name of Foundation, Citadel Foundation Pauldron Blue. Then I'll layer it in some Ultramarines blue. I just find it helps build up the Ultramarines blue better off the black. So without further ado, time lapse on the first one, default zoom settings. So this is the base coat on the first one done. I'm going to get the second one base coated up, but I gotta make one of these a sergeant too, so I'll make him the sergeant because he'll have a red helmet. So I'll just finish doing using this paint up on this guy, and I'll be right back. Do the next coat on this one. All right, so on to the next part. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit for this guy, because why not? If it'll let me. Let's see here, will this work? That's too far. There's some kind of slider button. No, that's completely out of view. So if I'm sitting here painting away, about here, still kind of see it. Try there. Alrighty, so next up is Ultramarines Blue. This one still kind of works. That's all tacky down here though. Yes, it's still good down in the bottom there. Just add a bit of water to it. There we go. Alright, so hopefully this remains in view. And once again, I'm going to start from the top, working the way down. I just got the alarm, my battery's about to die. So, I'm just gonna zip this back really quick and then I'll pause the filming, recharge the phone, and get right back to it. I was hoping to have a little more life than that. Alright, I gotta stop here. It's got 4% remaining. So, I'll let this charge and I'll be... Okay, phone's fully charged. I'm just gonna finish this guy up. But also, while the phone was charging, I went ahead and did the 2 coats on the armor on this guy and this guy. I still have to do the gun shields, but that'll come at a later date. I even pre-did the back of the jets. However, I want to move on to the metallic paint work, and my metallic paints are pretty much snafu. I'm going to try to recover some of those bolt guns if I can. If not, I do have another metallic paint close to this. It's a dollar store brand one, and that means the pigments in them are pretty chunky. So, I mean, I'll try it, but if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. I'll have to leave that until I get some ordered. Now, without further ado, let's get this guy finished. Okay, so that's that guy done. At least the base bit. I am noticing though when I have it down here, it starts to get off camera, so I do apologize for that. I think it might be best. I mean, if I go like this, put up a little bit more, kind of run that black splotch there. I'll lean in some more though. That's okay. Now the next bit, I am going to just put some red down in the jetpack bits. At least I can do that. Alright, so while that wetly dries, kind of like watered that down a bit, I'm going to go upstairs and grab that dollar store metallic paint. Okay, I'm back. I have my silver. I got a Spurn gold, and I got 2 other metallic golds here. Both more played. Played means anything. So, give this a good shake. Bit of this down. Now, it's one thing I learned with these dollar store paints is don't bother adding water on miniatures unless you're like a larger model. You want to do like a wash or something. So my guy, switch the pots around. One for non-metallic paints, one for metallic paints. And start with the feet. So it's not looking too bad. It's the thing with these dollar store acrylic paints too is that they will take a while to dry, and they, like I said before, they are pretty wet to begin with already. So you can just take a bit on your brush, thin it out, and then go and apply it. One thing to note too is that these dollar store acrylic paints are a bit on the chalky feeling side. Like these Deco folk art ones, they're not. You don't get that chalky texture to them or feel. and they do dry a little bit quicker than these Deco Art ones. Still on a pinch, not too shabby though. Dang, gotta correct that. One. Yeah, no, this zoom is not going to really work for me. Sorry folks, we'll have to leave it at the default. That's the vertical. Oh, goodness, let's knock that down. So I do apologize if it's going to be hard to see the littler details I'm doing. But hey, at least it's top down, lots of light. Not looking too shabby. I am going to have to go back over it though with a couple more passes. This stuff is just a little bit on the thin side. There's also a couple mistake marks I got to fix up, but that's no biggie. No biggie at all. Fix it up right now. Big one being on jetpack there. Whilst that stuff is drying, I am going to do up the shield plates. I'm not sure if second company's bolters are black on metal like that or something, but I'll do it for these guys, because I think the bolt rifles on the intercessors were black, yeah. I am, however, going to have to order up a selection of metallic paints from, excuse me, oof, dinner coming through. Or wasn't now? Yeah, a selection of metallic paints. Like, try to find what was bolt cut and all that, and replace. They've kind of got them now where these old Citadel foundation paints are basically now base paint under the new line, and it's like, okay, but what's the names? Because the names have changed, right? Well, these definitely coming together. Before I continue on those other two, though, I'm just going to let that guy dry, and I will be back here momentarily. Okay, I think that's a long enough wait. Get some Ultramarines blue, brush. Down into the palette. And now to go over these Stormfall bolters, or whatever they were called, front plates. And while that dries, let's try the gold. Now, let's see what this one's like. Whoa, shoot. I didn't mean to hit it that hard. It was just a gentle squeeze, I swear. Oh man, that's gonna be a waste of paint. Switch you over. I really can't wait to get those storage bins. They're supposed to be in the 13th. Oh man, I should just let the stuff easily pour out. What a waste. Okay, get a bit of gold in the brush. Let's try these. Just put it on first. Now keep in mind, this is no added water or anything. It's almost too bright. Take this other one out. Unless they're both the same. This one looks a little darker. Definitely looks darker on the inside. Stupid seal label, whatever you call it, off. You know, I will just stay directly from the pot. It does look more like a burnished gold. Now I'm going to try and cover this bit. And there's still got lots of it in there. When's the last time you've seen a person take excess paint off their palette and put it back in the bottle? Make sure that's on tight. That one. I don't want anything going dry on me. And those folk art ones from Walmart, I think they run between $3 to $4 a bottle. They're not even carrying them out as these dollar store ones. 59 milliliters, those ones carrying 118. Okay, so I'll bring it up there. That's how bright that first one was. Let's start the Pauldrons here. Little shoulder pads. Yeah, definitely that second one. This one's Spurn Gold. Bubbled up on me a little on the inside. A sperm gold look. Let's do the shoulder pad. It almost looks like it's close to that other folk art one. Yeah, no, it's even brighter on top of the silver. Well, verdict's in. Going with this one. Just wish it had a name on it. Still, it's quite a bit of waste. I mean, there's still tons in the bottle. It's still near the cap, but still, I mean, that's a mistake on my part. Japers. There we go. It's actually looking pretty good. So, I did forget the spot though. Got to do the top of the gun lining. I believe this guy has a... Yeah, it's got a purity seal on his left leg, on the left side of the knee. Before I do that, dry the brush off pretty good. More of the silver on here. And I still got these little hoses here to do. Think of something for those. I got the eyes. Oh yeah, got these breather pipes need to do too, don't I? Just easy does it. Right, so I'm going to do some quick touch-ups on the shoulder pads. And then I'll do the eyes and the purity seal. Okay. Oops, wrong one. So, this is already watered down enough. Just want a little bit off the top. Just a little dab. Like so. Switch these around so I don't get confused. Okay, I have some white here. Don't know if it's any good though. No, so that's also my chuck list too. It's all chunky on the inside, so that and that. My gunmetal's effed. Just put them over here. I do have a Citadel layer white scar. Bought it last year in an order. I know it's still really good. Yes, there we go. Put that in there. Yeah, these new pots are a lot more better sealed than these other ones, but they're based on that design, right? It's got a better snap on them. Whoa, excuse me if you've heard that. I let out a little bit of gas. Alright, so okay, that's that. Just gonna correct up a little bit. I tell myself to correct up my stuff, but I forget about that stuff, so I like to do it on the go. Dry. So this dude is just about done. Burnished gold's also left. Okay. I'm gonna get my really fine detail brush here. Yeah, that's the way I have to point. Get my blood red. Gently do my eyes. There's one. There's two. Gotta touch up some blue in there now. I think my red's oofed as well. I definitely don't want to do a part 2 of these while I'm waiting on paints to come in. Okay. Alrighty, let that dry and I'll be right back and start the wash process. Alright folks, I'm back. Fortunately my blood red's gone and the closest I have to it is bright red. I have a Christmas red and a dark red, and that's too dark for this. Like the Christmas red is more like that color. So I'm gonna have to use this to fill in the eyes because it's just not coming up, it's not giving that punch and the top of the seal into these little jet bits on the back. And of course there's going to be a washing process because I want to kind of tone down, not so much the metal plates in the feet, I'm going to dirty those up later, but it's more so the purity seal. Right, so get this out of the way. A splash. Or a drop. There we go. And that's it. You know, Citadel start making bottles like this, or like their other model paint competitors. Might do really good. Right off of that, that's me trying to get some blood red off of there to there, and it's just done. Okay, so any water, just wanna get it right there. Perfect. And my wee fine detail brush. This is a really old one, or older model. Too much on there. Droopy-eyed. There. Go back with some ultramarine blue and clean up around the lenses. And there as well. Yeah, so these dollar store paints definitely don't add any water to them. They're runny enough as it is. And trying to get these smaller details, I mean, it's looking good. And you would, like, some of these colors like this red here, it's trying to get the stick. Might take me a few coats. I'll leave that to dry, and I'm going to check the box art to see what color these pipes are, or hoses or something. I'm pretty sure I can just make them any color, or do a hazmat line or something. That means I can get my dollar store yellow, because my other yellows are done. Boy, oh boy. Alright, yep, so I'll be right back again, sorry. This will be another slip out. So I will look at the box art, and they're just using some kind of like silverish gray. So I took some Adaptis Battle Gray here. I think it's still good. And I'll just put that on the lines and a little wash or something, and it'll be good. Oh, look at that! It is like it's still brand new. I got a little too much of a brush. And we'll slap it down here. That bright red is still drying. So we'll just... There we go. You know, this army painter brush has been really handy. I mean, it's easy to clean, the bristles remain the way they are, even after I clean them. Because I wouldn't scrub down all my Citadel ones like really good with this brush cleaner stuff that I picked up at a Comics and hobby game store. Sadly, they went out of business. As you know, like any other hobby, like Truro a busy town, but I think it was the location. Anyway. So. Okay, we got that done, that's done. Alright. A wash. A purity seal. I'm just going to use my little micro brush here. Use some that black, that blue. But that black it is. I thought I had my Devlin mud down here. That's okay. This will do. Now also on the box art I noticed, they painted these trims here separate. I might do something similar, but I don't know. I'm just trying to keep it simple, yet decorative. I may go back down the road and change that up. Now there was one other thing, yes. Do some touch-ups. Yeah, got some touch-ups here on the leg. I'm still wearing my glasses. We're doing these now. Notice my one eye. It's really trying to correct the other one lately, trying to focus on what I'm doing. That look? Looking a little better. There we go. Just gonna add more red to the thrusters. What I wish I had are, and I've seen these before, these little like pebbles or stones, you know, like they make up for whatever decoration purposes, and there were some red ones I wanted to pick up, and they almost like they would fit on the back of these here perfectly. Even if they're just a little bit wider on the edge, that'd be fine because they would act like as if there's like flame coming out of them. Because I have some assault squad guys, and I just did the same thing, just paint them up red like this. And I hoped for the best, and it kind of works, you know, makes it look like they're turned on. Normally I would go and put a black dot in the center of those. I don't even know if my Chaos Black even works anymore. Let's find out. I think it's kind of empty. Yeah, this one's pretty much almost done. It's done. It's kaput. Oops. I can hear you. Yeah, it's not leaving no marks. Alright, well, no big deal. I'll get some other black another time. I mean, I'll just paint them over from now on. I know some people go and they drill them in. But when I paint my models, I paint them up so, you know, they look nice, but they're going to be handled a lot on the tabletop, right? And bumped and shunted, so I don't want to go too extreme in details. So that's probably one thing I'm going to keep out of it now is just Not going to bother painting a black dot there. Just going to be like, boop, there you go, there's the gun. Paint it up and done. Now, I kind of went over this base a little bit with the dry brush of that gray on my small fine dry brush, but it doesn't seem to make much of a difference. I kind of want to brighten it up with something, but I don't know what. Actually, you know what? Let me do an experiment here. I got some Allergan Technical Earth Stick. Let's slap some of that on there and see what happens. Or better or worse. A little scalpel tool. Scoop a little bit up. Make sure that's sealed nice. And I'm going to slap some down right here. See what that does. Doesn't make it look any better, any less. And I'm going to dry brush some Apodus Battle Gray. Just a little bit, not a whole lot. Some of those higher points. Put a little splooge here. Now normally you use a dry piece of paper towel completely. This is somewhat dry. Just gonna, that's what I'm looking for. Now ideally you want to use a bigger brush for this, but I'm just putting a little bit on here. I don't want to make it too obvious. Just kind of mainly where, you know, these guys are jetpacking in. So around the stem, make it look like it's kind of getting scorched a little bit from their jetpacks. So normally they use like a lighter brown, but I'm just gonna leave this base the way it is. The textured paint color the way it is. I'm not gonna add any brighter layers. I mean, that's good enough for me. Once that dries, I'll add an interesting bit. And then I got like these scorched little bits from his fuel pack, or not fuel pack, get on forwards, jet pack. And that should just mount in here, something like that. You can see I tried to glue it in before and it wasn't working. So I'm hoping with this super glue gel, it will work just fine. So I'm making this brush off. There we go. These ones here I can go for a whip. And this one, I'm going to call it a night. But these other two will be completed pretty much the same way. And when it's done, they're done. So the next screen you're going to see is a still image, and they'll all be completed. That's the word I'm looking for. Ooh, so everybody, have yourselves a good week, and I will probably do part 2 and get these intercessors finished up, because I'm not going to wait around on paints. These dollar store ones are working, and that's what's going to happen to finish them up. Same thing with the rest of them here, except for this squad. I'm going to need my exact colors for them, for the Celtic Warriors. All right, everybody, take care and stay safe.